think we should try and get done like in 18 minutes.
Amazing.
Do you think we can do that?
Absolutely. You could say that I did kind of deep dive on a lot of these. Okay, that's okay. I'll skim. How deep are yours? Like, are yours like really monumental, or are they just like monumental to you?
Okay, so this is how I defined them. And we probably will have to repeat this, but I'll tell you, I define my...
I'm recording, so we can just...
Oh. Okay. Well, welcome to Generation Mix with me, Cathy Olofson, and
me, Haley Tenney.
Woo! So we're here to talk about 3 iconic moments from the first 25 years of our lifetimes. And this is important because, as Haley reminds us every episode, I'm twice her age. So we're going to talk about the 3 iconic moments in the first 25 years of my lifetime, and then 3 iconic moments in the first 25 years of her lifetime, which will be falling after mine, since I am, as she likes to remind me, older.
Twice.
Yeah. I would call them major moments in history. So they're sort of like of a national scope. I had a couple of local ones that I can talk about that really only will make sense if you lived in Central Illinois or maybe just Bloomington, Normal, or McLean County-ish. But the ones that I'm going to, list off first are more of a national, I guess, nature.
So that's cool. I have some honorable mentions as well. All of mine are national. None of mine are exclusive to Central Illinois.
I like that honorable mention.
I do, because I was like, oh, those were good too, but they maybe weren't quite as impactful. How do you want to do it? Do you want to start and do all 3 of yours and then do all 3 of mine, so we go chronologically?
I think so. That's what I was thinking, because all of mine are going to come before yours.
And are yours like in order of when they happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I did too. Okay, well then take it away, Yo.
All right. So my first moment, and again, the way I defined these were a moment in time when something happened and I could remember where I was or who I was with. So the first one is March 30th. I had to Google the dates because I could remember who I was with, but not the exact dates. March 30th, 1981.
Hold on really quick. I was -14. Go ahead. Back to you. March 30th, 1981.
Okay. I was 10. So I was on spring break, and this is the moment that there was an attempted assassination on Ronald Reagan, president of the United States at the time. I was on spring break, meaning I was staying with my grandmother, who ran, wait for it, the Gateway Motel in Farmer City, Illinois. And I just remember she was really upset, and we were all glued to the TV, and I was kind of obnoxious because I was 10 and I wasn't 100% like concerned. As
sure.
My brother Mark was with me. He would have been 14. And I just remember that whole afternoon. This was before remote controls. So grandma, stop. At least grandma didn't have a remote control at that time. So she would tell us, hey, go change the channel and see what else is, like we were like zipping through news or whatever. So that, and they broke into, she was a big daytime soap watcher, and they like broke into her daytime soaps. Like, it was a big deal. So that's my first one. I was 10.
Okay. 1983, that was?
1981.
1981.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one, January 28th, 1986.
Amazing.
I was not quite 15 because my birthday is in April. This happens to be my best friend's birthday.
Interesting.
Third hour PE with Coach Hall. Shout out. He's a Facebook friend of mine now.
Amazing. Shout out to Coach Hall.
And Challenger explosion.
Cool.
Third hour PE. Coach Hall was a history teacher So he set up the television on the stage so we could all watch this historic moment together. And he kind of sort of even lectured us a little bit about like, you're going to remember this for all time. And then of course we do, but not for the reasons that he first lectured us about. So that's my second one.
Wait, so you literally watched the Challenger explode like in real time?
Real time.
How is that so traumatic? Like, are you still unpacking that trauma? Like, what's that like for you?
I mean, I feel like we walked through the rest of that day pretty somber and quiet. Um, but we were also, yeah,
Kid.
yeah. What I do remember is it was my best friend's birthday, and we had a lot of conversations about how, you know, she would always be remembering that horrific time, you know, on her birthday, and that's kind of sad. I remember those conversations, but definitely third hour PE. We were on the stage watching a very small TV, probably, you know, I mean, I don't know. For the times, it was probably big, but hey, it was 1986, so, you know, and you were still negative something, right?
You could say 1986, I was -9.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Next one is June 17th, 1994. The O.J. Simpson Bronco chase.
Yikes.
I'm not 100% certain where the heck I was during this thing, but I know for sure I was with Dave. And I think that we started out actually in the car learning about this situation unfolding. And then we got to, I think, our place, like our condo, because we were living in sin at that time. We weren't married yet, but we were living together. And I think that, like, so I think we had been on the road or something and we heard about it. And then we got into the house and then just sort of watched dumbfounded as that whole mess. Just weird. So those are mine. Those are my three.
Okay, Kathy, yours were really good and really a lot deeper than mine.
I mean, those are just what I remember. Okay, I'm zipping it. It's your turn.
You can interrupt me. I interrupted you literally the entire time. So I would love for you to interrupt me, but something just popped. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, so before I start though, I do want to say some honorable mentions because really good stuff. The first honorable mention I would like to say is the 2010 Video Music Awards when Lady Gaga showed up wearing a dress made of meat.
Meat.
That do I know what she was protesting? No, it was probably like eating meat, but which I'm all for now. Let's not eat our furry friends, but so iconic to me. So iconic. Another honorable mention was the only time in my high school career that I woke up before 4 a.m., and that is the royal wedding.
Wait. Oh, what's your definition of the royal wedding?
When is yours Diana? Mine is Prince William and Kate Middleton.
Because I could probably say that that's an iconic moment in my childhood as Princess Di and Prince Charles' wedding.
Ew, Prince Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Lame-o.
For sure. Oh, sure.
But I love Princess Diana. But yes, that royal wedding. It was my generation's year royal wedding. Yeah. And then another one, very big deal to me, maybe not to other people, was when Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Chris Humphries after 72 days of marriage. That was a big deal. Okay, but then also other ones that are maybe a little bit deeper, similar to, I don't know, your Challenger explosion or what have you, would be, of course, the 9/11 terrorist attacks when I was in first grade. I can remember.
You were in first grade? Oh.
I was in first grade and I can remember that whole day. And then, of course,
so
the biggest...
First grade, right? You said first grade? Okay.
And then, of course, the biggest pop culture scandal of all, which is the fact that a reality TV show person is our president right now. But whatever, I digress. Anyway, so my three are... My first one happened in 2008. I was in 7th grade. And one of my childhood idols, one Britney Spears, shaved her head while paparazzi took pictures of it. You look confused. Do you not remember this?
Nope.
Okay, so have you heard of the hashtag Free Britney?
Nope.
Oh my God. So this is where the deep dive comes in. I will speak very quickly. So basically, Britney Spears has not controlled any part of her life in 12 years. She has a conservatorship over her. Her father controls her. Actually, I take that back. Her father controlled her until August of 2019. And then a carekeeper person was given full conservatorship over her. So in the late 2000s, Britney had several very public meltdowns. So obviously this is the time of socialites, Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, like everything was very in the spotlight. So in like around like the late 2000s, there was like, she was spotted driving her SUV with her child on her lap who wasn't strapped into a car seat. And then there was the head shaving incident. And then when she hit a paparazzi's car with an umbrella, horrible for seventh grade Haley to have to deal with this from one of her idols. So in 2008, she was sent to rehab, during which that time her family agreed she could not have control over any of her assets. The craziest part about this to me, though, is that 1 month after going to rehab, she was back. She was guest starring. She guest starred on a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother. She was performing. So tell me if you're concerned about this woman's well-being, that you're okay with her going on to perform. Anywho. In 2020 alone, this conservatorship has been extended 2 times. You could say not really a big deal to everybody, pretty big deal to me. My second item happened just 1 year later in September of 2009, September 13th, 2009 to be specific. The evening of the 25th annual MTV Video Music Awards. And who won? I think it was Music Video of the Year. Best Female Video Award of the Year was given to Taylor Swift. She's up on stage accepting her award. And what happens? Mr. Kanye
I think I know.
Do you ever feel interrupted? Mr. Kanye West himself hops up on stage, grabs the mic from her, and says, "Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time," before being booed off the stage. Shook.
I remember that.
Shook. Watching live, I was like, huh? Can he do this? He just did it. The best part of all this, mind you, I would say, is that the camera cuts to Beyonce and she is horrified because she is a class act and she did not want to take that moment from her sister, Taylor. And I'm a huge Swiftie, ride or die T-Swizzle. I hate Kanye West.
Did I run for president?
Don't even, this man, Kim Kardashian better come get her mans because this man is outrageous. Here we are in 2020, this man's out here running for president saying that Harriet Tubman didn't even free any slaves. Kim, come get your man. I'm over it. Anywho, that was my second moment.
Okay.
So, you're a who?
I said, Kim, come get your man. I'm like, okay.
Kim, come get your man. He is out of control.
Man.
Oh, I don't like that you did that. Oh my God.
All right, what's your third one?
Sorry. She's over it. She wants me to stop talking. Okay. So this one is very serious, not as silly as my other ones. And by not as silly, I mean not silly at all. And that would be when we, as a country, as a world, found out that everybody's father, Bill Cosby, was the scum of the earth. So, little background on that. It was in mid-January to mid-February 2004, a first woman, comes forward saying that Cosby sexually assaulted her at his home. This was the same year. I don't know, Cathy, if you remember this. It was May 17th, 2004 that Bill Cosby spoke. He gave his pound cake speech. So this speech didn't age well because basically the speech, after being widely disseminated and analyzed, Cosby was just highly critical of the Black community, saying that people with their pants around their ankles, naming their children names that are not white names. They're making the problems for themselves. So in November of 2015, 8 civil suits were active against Bill Cosby. And in July 2015, court records were unsealed. Then in December of 2015, he received 3 Class 2 felony charges of aggravated indecent assault. And his first trial ended in a mistrial, and then he was found guilty in 2018. And on September 25th, Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison and fined $25,000 plus the cost of the prosecution.
Help me remember where this is in the timeline of the Me Too moment.
But I want to say the Me Too movement began in 2016.
Oh, I just said
well,
2016. For sure, I'm making Coach
2006
Hall sad right now because I'm still sucking at history. But
in 2006, it was founded, but then the phrase Me Too developed into a broader movement following the 2017 use of Me Too as a hashtag following Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse allegations. So 2017. So Cosby was charged in spring of 2018.
I do have a couple of things that are local. So all the 3 iconic moments are done for both of us. So this is like the appendix of a blog. But for me, locally, 2 things happened when I was growing up that I will never forget. And I don't know the exact dates. I'm sorry. They both happened when I was in high school, though. So 1985 to 1989-ish, in there somewhere. Locally, a family was killed. It's called the Hendricks murders here in Bloomington Normal. And David Hendricks was eventually charged and sentenced, and then eventually years later, let go for killing his, he was sentenced for killing his family. And then that sentence was overturned due to some mistrial. That was a really big deal. I think I was in maybe 8th grade, freshman year. Yeah.
What do you mean by killing his family?
I mean, like a mother, I think there were 3 kids gutted, not like chopped up knife, a knife, like just crazy, murdering situation here. So I remember having conversations again with my best friend about that because we were all really freaked out, obviously, even though I didn't live in Bloomington Normal at that time. And then I don't know why these are all murders, but it might explain why I have fascination with like true crime podcasts. I think our junior year in Bloomington, there was an S&S liquor murder. So several customers were killed at the S&S liquor location in Bloomington, like execution style. And that was like a huge deal. And that was I think that they brought people to justice when I was in college then at ISU. So that was in the early 90s. But anyway, those are 2 things that I really remember. Ironically, I remember the S&S thing in particular, excuse me. I want to say I should have looked this up, 12 people. But one of the people was a good friend of Coach Hall. And I was in his class the day after. I know, it's so bizarre.
Coach Hall, the 3rd host of this podcast.
Yeah, shout out, Charlie. We were in his class, and I feel like one of his, and I don't mean to be laughing about this because I still remember one of his very close friends was killed, and you can imagine, that had major impact on him. And he was kind of a big gruff and grumbly kind of guy.
Gruff and grumbly.
I remember that day in history class, he just was really honest and vulnerable with us and just said, I'm really struggling and here's why. And I think that takes, courage to make yourself that way in front of a room full of high school idiots, which, let's face it, we were, So.
Those are so intense.
I know, true crime. I mean, I think the true crime thing, that's what, started my fascination with true crime. Although I have learned that I don't like the true crime podcasts that leave me hanging, like the unsolved ones. I don't like that. I like. Oh. Now it says my internet connection is unstable. Sorry.
Your internet connection and I have that in common. We are.
All right. Well, peace and love, Generation Mix listeners.
Peace and blessings, Generation Mix.
Peace and blessings. I'll get it right one of these times.
Wow, this was a good one. Hi, Pizza Roll. Hi, Pizza Roll. Wow, that was really good. Okay, well, peace out.